In 2010, Panasonic made a decision that seemed perfectly logical. They were an iconic brand, a leader in consumer electronics. Trusted by millions, they had reigned supreme for decades. But that choice, which looked like solid strategy at the time, would ultimately mark the beginning of their decline. Not a sudden crash, but a slow, painful erosion of everything they once stood for. Panasonic had a stronghold in the market. Their televisions, cameras, and appliances were at the heart of every home. They were the trusted name in electronics, a company that represented quality and reliability. As technology advanced, Panasonic had everything it needed to thrive. They were in the perfect position to innovate and lead the next big wave of change. But despite all the power, something was missing. The next revolution was happening right under their nose, and they didn't see it coming. The decision was simple, yet monumental. Stay focused on the traditional product lines. Panasonic decided to double down on their core business: TVs, cameras, and home appliances. They thought that by sticking to their strengths, they would continue to dominate. Mobile technology wasn't their priority. They ignored the growing importance of smartphones, even though they had a clear chance to dive into the mobile revolution. They believed that their established business model would keep them ahead. And for a while, it worked. At the time, Panasonic was a giant. Their market share was enormous, and their products were still selling well. They had earned their trust by building great TVs and cameras for decades. The future, they thought, would be more of the same. Why risk venturing into a new space when everything they had was working? Their focus on the core business seemed perfectly sound, but the world was moving faster than they realized. Meanwhile, a massive change was occurring in the world of technology. The smartphone wasn't just another product, it was becoming the center of everything. Apple was leading the way, and Android was quickly following. Smartphones were now the new TV, the new camera, the new home hub. Everything was becoming mobile first. Panasonic didn't see this shift. They stayed focused on their existing markets and ignored the one game-changing technology that would eventually replace everything they'd built. Panasonic didn't lose its relevance overnight. It was a slow burn. They were still selling products, but their market share began to erode. Smartphones didn't just take over mobile phones, they replaced cameras with better quality and TVs with streaming services. The once powerful product lines that Panasonic had relied on were now second tier in comparison. And while companies like Apple and Samsung embraced the mobile revolution, Panasonic remained stuck in the past, unable to adapt. As smartphones began dominating every aspect of life, Panasonic's core products were being outpaced by innovations they didn't expect. The most dangerous part about Panasonic's decision wasn't that they chose the wrong path. It was that they chose what they knew instead of embracing change. They didn't realize that comfort was a trap. Success can cloud vision. And when you don't recognize change in time, you become irrelevant. How many times have we, in our own work or lives, stuck to what we know because it worked in the past? How many times have we ignored the new trends and innovations, thinking that what worked before would always work? The lesson here is simple. Adapt or fade away. Innovation never waits. If you're into strategic business breakdowns, I post more of them on my Telegram.